Hey guys, welcome to another Introduction to Tricking series. Today we're going to be looking at the gainer, also known as the gainer flash. This is not called a cheat gainer in tricking, just a gainer flash, or gainer for short. This is the most basic flip-based trick. It's relatively easy. It's a lot of fun. So let's look at how we do this. I'm going to start out looking at it in slow motion. Alright, so I wind up, pivot my foot outwards, 180 degree hop, swing, fully extend, ride it out, and I land. It's basically an extension of the swing takeoff. Alright, so let's break it down. Let's see what we have to do to make this happen. I want to wind up and pivot, swing takeoff. If you notice, my foot is not perfectly parallel with the white line on the ground. I make it face a little bit outwards because this creates a twisting feeling in my leg, which creates torque, and I can use that torque to facilitate my swing. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to. Once you've done it a few times, you can use it to your advantage to make your swing more powerful. Alright, so once you've done the hop, you're going to work on the swing. And the swing, you want it to be powerful, and you want to fully extend your body on the jump. Right? It is a jump, but you also, what's more important than actually jumping off the ground is fully extending your leg. You want to make a nice big circle shape with your body. That's going to really help you get all the way around. It feels like you're pushing off the ground more than actually jumping. I don't raise my my swing leg above hip level. So that's something to keep in mind. You don't need to be too flexible to do this. Also, remember to raise your arms. Put it all together, so what you get, boom, gainer. Alright, so on the landing, you want to make sure your ankle, your knee, and your hip are all aligned, right? You want to be landing relatively upright. Just make sure they're all aligned, and land softly, absorb the impact. If you flip properly, if you get enough flip rotation, you won't be landing on your leg too hard. The flip will kind of carry the momentum off of your leg, so you won't be drilling all that impact into your leg. Alright, so let's go over some progressions I've come up with. The first one, I think that's relatively easy, is the angle progression. If you saw in that one, that gainer I just did, I'm just trying to get both my legs above hip level. I'm doing a normal gainer, but I'm just starting out easy. I'm going to make it really angled, really off axis, just working on getting my legs above hip level, or at hip level. Once I get comfortable with that, kind of bring it up to shoulder level, get my legs to shoulder level, more or less. Once I'm comfortable with that, I go bring my legs to head level. And once you get to this level, it's fine. This is pretty much what a gainer looks like. It's a little bit angled. It's kind of naturally how it works since you're taking off one leg. Once you get really comfortable, you can actually feel like you can kick straight over. But it looks almost the same because, like I said, you're taking off one leg and you kind of naturally turn in the air because you're taking off one leg, landing on the opposite leg. All right. So now another thing that's worth noting is using your hands. Using your hands is a good idea if you're afraid of doing flip-based tricks. I used my hands when I first learned this trick, and it is what helped me get over my fear of going backwards in this trick in particular. Using your hands will help you get the flip motion over, and once you get comfortable with that, you can work on harnessing the power of your swing takeoff, and then going from there. Alright, so now we're going on to the mat progression. You might want to be using a bigger mat than what I'm using here, but practice falling onto your back and practice back rolls. What this will do is this will get you comfortable with going over your head, going backwards. Alright. Once you get comfortable with that, practice the swing falling onto your back, then practice the swing back rolls. Alright, once you're comfortable with those, there isn't too much else to do. Just try to backflip. It takes a lot of trial and error. It's gainers and backflip based tricks are the most trial and error kind of trick. It's you just got to drill them every day, be consistent with it. That's what it really comes down to. You should be comfortable with falling onto a big mat, big foamy mat. And if you can actually do a gainer on a foamy mat, then when you take it to floor or a relatively harder mat, for more firm mat, it'll be a lot easier. All right, so troubleshooting. Let's go over some problems that I see. A common one is taking off too early, leaving the ground without fully extending. Now there's what this does is if you leave the ground too early, your gainer is going to be low, going to be kind of tucked, and could potentially hurt your landing foot. So the way to fix this is just make a bigger shape on the takeoff. Wait until you leave the ground. You don't need to leave the ground immediately. Take your time with it, ride it out, fully extend, push off the ground completely. All right, the next thing I see a lot of people do is whipping their head back right away. Now this isn't the worst thing in the world because the gainer is kind of like a whip back, a whippy kind of trick, but it is gonna you do want to set a little bit so you're not throwing your gainer into the ground. So try to keep your head neutral. Spot your landing after you've left the ground. All right, so angles. If you're having trouble making your gainer straight over, like I said, it's not the end of the world. Gainers are kind of a angled trick to begin with, but if you do want your gainer to go straight over, pay attention to where your belly button is facing. Pay attention to where it's facing when you take off, and try to move it more towards away from the direction you're traveling, right? See, the more parallel my belly button is to the line that I'm traveling on, the more vertical my flip's going to be. All right, so let's see. What else we got? All right, using the hands. All right, if you're having problems putting your hands down every single time, it's not the biggest deal in the world. This is actually how I learned my gainers. What you need to work on is your swing takeoff. You need to make your swing takeoff more powerful. You can also use your arms to swing and bring them back to your chest after the takeoff. But ideally, you want your swing takeoff to be so powerful that you miss your hands completely. All right, so that's something to think about. Like that. Well, a nice, powerful swing takeoff. Takes a little bit of practice, but make it faster, more powerful. Imagine you're kicking a soccer ball really hard, carry yourself all the way around. It's kind of how I learned. But that's pretty much it. These are some angles of me doing gainers for more study purposes. Yep, gainer flash. Recommend you learn it. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys.